Day 2, ladies and gentlemen, of Lent, and I especially wanted to dedicate this video to a piece of news that I found out earlier today. Apparently, how do I put this? Andrew Tate sent out a tweet saying that he's had letters from hundreds of women while he's been in jail, and he added Jerry Springer for some reason, because he said there's even more women waiting for him when he's released outside. Can I just say a few things right now, ladies and gentlemen, and this is actually going to be relevant for why this is, in the season of Lent. I know fine well Andrew will not be interested in this, but I feel like it would be very impertinent if I didn't say this. Andrew Tate, if you're innocent of the crimes you've been accused of and you are freed, then fair enough. If you are innocent of any offence, if the law at this time currently holds you completely innocent, then that's fine. There's very little I can do about the situation. There's very little I could say that could alter or change the courts or indeterminably bring any sort of semblance into any judge's mind, whether it's at the Old Bailey, whether it's in Romania. There's very little I can actually say about that would actually change a person's opinion. What I will say this is, Mr. Tate, is, again, I would say leave it at fair enough. And you know what? I do hope you enjoy the taste of freedom, because people might say that's justice served in the end, I guess. Because what is the intention of justice? The intention of justice, as we are told, ladies and gentlemen, is a system where the guilty are punished and the innocent are freed. Seems fair and simple enough. However, does that mean with any practical certainty that I have not seen Andrew Tate do any of the things he's been accused of? Perhaps. But does that also mean that I didn't see any of these things? Or, for that matter, ladies and gentlemen, because I think I might have tripped over my tongue a little bit, just because I haven't seen any of these things doesn't mean it doesn't happen. You know what I'm saying? Just out of sight, out of mind apply to any of this? Hardly not. But like I mentioned again, just because I don't see something happening doesn't mean it didn't happen. Moreover, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say this right now. In the cases when you hear people who are this arrogant, who claim that women, even though it did get out about exactly what Andrew Tate had been held in custody for and what crimes he was facing and the punishment he would receive if he was found guilty of his offences. I just want to say this right ahead now, ladies and gentlemen. One, Andrew Tate, if this is your resume for the Metropolitan Police, I'm very, very sorry to say that I cannot see this going well. Maybe 10 or so years ago, they would have come to your rescue to get you out of prison, but no, you couldn't do that nowadays. It's just not a good look. So, on the whole, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say, again, fair enough if they want to release him because there's either a lack of evidence or he really was innocent, then that should be that. But then again, as we all know, innocent and not guilty are two very, very separate things. Innocent means that they were completely fine, free. There was absolutely no cause of anything to judge anybody's mind whatsoever. Not guilty doesn't mean to say they're innocent. It simply just means they are not guilty of the offence of which they have been accused of. Which is why it's so confusing in my mind, ladies and gentlemen, because of all the biblical characters from the Holy Bible, one of them that I actually kind of almost want to model myself after is Saint James. Because Saint James, by today's standards, would be regarded as something of a social justice warrior, which people will smear and say whatever they want about people like, social justice warriors. But actually, St. James was a man who believed a great deal in the concept of fair play and order and discipline. And again, when you take a look at the case of Andrew Tate, and some people, again, will say, fair enough, it doesn't mean to say he's not an arsehole or anything like that. Maybe in some way, St. James might have had the exact same things to say. You know what? He may be a lot of things, but he did not do the things you accused him of. Judge ye not, unless ye be judged. And it's absolutely fine. And you know what? Andrew Tate is no exception. We can't say that he's different just because people don't personally like him. I don't like him myself, but that does not mean to say in cases like these, it's so that morally the law is as equal as everybody else's. That's kind of why. And because there's actually very few people on this earth that I would actually almost want to say I hate, because hate is a very, very powerful word, and it's a very, very hateful word at that. And I can honestly say, ladies and gentlemen, I do not hate Andrew Tate. And I will stand by that word, ladies and gentlemen. I do not hate Andrew Tate. I do not like the things that he's done. I do not like the things he has said. I do not like his outlook. I do not like the way he treats people. I do not like the way he treats many people. I also do not like his arrogance, the way he thinks that he is just going to return as though things are going to be back to normal no matter what happens. I also don't like the fact that he will come out and he will prove that he has learned absolutely nothing, because his tweet earlier today seemed to suggest just that he's going to get out. In fact, no, not even before he's got out, he's saying that, women have written into him and all this. So I would say he has learned not a single goddamn thing, because, ladies and gentlemen, and I've seen this for myself, men like Andrew Tate, they get off on one thing and one thing only. It's not beautiful women, it's power. It is the position to authoritate and to be in power. That is what keeps Andrew Tate awake at night. That is the thing that also helps him to go to sleep. It's the thing he wakes up to, and the thing he cannot wait to get to sleep to, because he can return to his fantasies. Because then again, does he really need to sleep at all? His life is one big fantasy. It's a fallacy. It's not true. It's not real. It is a world that only exists in the mind and the body of one person and one person only, Andrew Tate. So Andrew Tate, even while he's in prison, and if he gets out, he may feel like he's going to be on top of the world and he's going to be completely untouchable, and then he'll continue sprouting his bullshit, and he will hustle people from the beginning to the very end. Because, ladies and gentlemen, and I mentioned the end for another very good reason to end this out on, Andrew Tate might think these things, but nobody stays on top forever.